Top of the morning, top of the morning, top of the morning. It's your guy Black Fever here. You already know what it is. Good weekend in boxing. Good weekend in boxing. Crazy weekend in sports with the Luka Doncic and AD trade. Out of nowhere, two superstar players, two cornerstone players, um, just out of nowhere, just traded for each other. A couple of more pieces, another team involved, but the two main pieces, uh, Luka and AD getting swapped. And I'm a Laker fan, so you know, RIP my guy Kobe. But other than that, boxing. Stayed up late. I should say early this morning to catch that Claressa Shields fight. She put on a dominating performance. The young lady that she was fighting was a huge woman, very athletic. And Claressa Shields in the 10th round kind of stamped the victory with a huge knockdown. Surprised that lady even got up from that. So amazing pull counter hook. Amazing punch. Good fight, decent turnout. The undercards weren't really that good, just decent boxing. Tough to put on the Sunday card. A lot of people got to go to work and other things like that. So shout to her. It was a decent card. Like to see her more active. Hopefully she get back in the swing of things. Maybe she could cut her weight down and maybe we could get the fights that we want to see. We really want to see her versus Baumgardner, but it might not ever happen. Baumgardner's kind of a small girl. And Claressa's, the way her traps and the way her back and stuff is built, I don't really see her being able to cut down and be that small, but all right. So let's get to Saturday night. Again, shout to Claressa Shields. And shout to everybody who put that card together last night, Sunday night. But the card that everybody was looking forward to was Saturday night, the Benavidez versus David Morrell card. Star-studded card. But I'm gonna start with the undercard. Shout to my guy Kamal Morton. Kamel Morton, I'm sorry. I always butcher that boy's name. He looked good, after he got a little suspension for missing weight, I believe, for the Danny Garcia card. He made up for it. I'm not sure if that was the same opponent that he was supposed to be fighting during the Danny Garcia card. But however, same results. Victory for young Kamel Morton. He looked good, like I said. Hopefully he stays on the right path. He's 7-0 now. He could get some bigger fights. Be active the same way this year. Get some bigger fights under his belt. He's on his way. He'll be there. I saw somebody tweet Tank and saying, oh, Kamal will fuck you up. And Tank didn't really like that. Please, man, don't push that boy in the fire too soon, man. I understand the similarities, the money team reference that's there. They both kind of look the same, they resemble each other, but leave Tank alone, please. So shout to Kamel Morton for that. Now, it was an all decent card. All of it was a decent card. I was kind of busy Saturday shooting a video, so I didn't. I caught everything, but I didn't necessarily pay my full attention to everything. So I'm just gonna skip to the Pitbull Cruz fight. They was fighting for like a Mexican tough guy title, it seemed like. And boy, oh boy, did they put on a performance. Shout out to those two brothers that was in that ring. Pitbull Cruz looked good. Obviously, he fought an opponent that they both were on the same game plan and wanted to just go out there and just fight each other and show their machismo. So his opponent was there to be hit. So was Pitbull Cruz. I still believe that if somebody used their jab against him and used their height, there's no way that he'll be able to land properly, and you'll be able to easily keep him at bay and clean him up, wash him up. He's hard to knock down, so you'll have to fight all night because he's going to keep coming at you. But however, if you're able to use your jab, use your footwork, use your length, use your height, Pitbull Cruz should be a night of work in the ring. But shout out to him. He was able to squeak it out. Good for him. He needs to kind of build back his reputation. He was in line to fight Tank. Now he's fighting 10 rounders on the undercard of top fighters. So he needs to get himself back to where he once was, and he can. It's just about the right opponents, staying in the gym, staying busy. But again, he has to find a dance partner that wants to engage with him. Maybe somebody closer in height, and just somebody who's willing to meet him in the middle of the ring, because that's what he needs. If anybody has a game plan, is using their footwork, using their jab, it's pretty much nothing that using their height. It's pretty much nothing that Pitbull Cruz could do. So again, he needs the matchups. Styles make fights, and he definitely needs the style that matches what it is that Pitbull Cruz does. Again, like I said, I watched the whole card for the most part, but I only paid attention to the things that I really wanted to pay attention to because I was busy doing something else. So now, Stephen Fulton. Stephen Fulton. First of all, I want to give you a shout for your outfit. I'm sure I'm late to the party as far as that outfit goes. It was all over social media. My man had the butters. He had the boxing slipper version of some Timberland butters, construction Timbs, and he had his shorts look like some cut off jean shorts, letting everybody know he's still from Philly. He put on a great performance. He looked good. He looks good. He's on the right road, back to getting himself back into the prestige that he once was in after the New Way fight. This gentleman that he fought this weekend, this was a rematch, and I believe Stephen Fulton was confident that this guy couldn't hurt him. He's pretty much, he fought him twice, so I believe Stephen Fulton has felt this guy's best punch, and he was comfortable to get in there. He mixed it up. He looked like it. He pretty much dominated the fight. He never looked like he was in trouble. He looked real comfortable. He was in there mixing it up. They were in there slugging it. Bozy Ennis was in his corner. Stephen Fulton was getting pushed to the ropes a little bit, but he was working out of the ropes. Bozy Ennis was asking him to stay off the ropes. He did his best to fight, to push back to the middle of the ring, but I think his game plan was kind of let this guy kind of open up some so he can counter him. And the guy felt a little bit more comfortable. I'm calling him the guy. I can't necessarily remember this guy's last name at the moment. But however, Fulton felt comfortable with going on the ropes because the gentleman that he was fighting felt a little bit more comfortable with opening up there, so Fulton could get off in those exchanges off the ropes. He did pretty good fighting off the ropes against Bozy Ennis' advice to stay off the ropes. But again, good fight for Stephen Fulton. He's on the right recovery to get himself back to where he needs to be. Shout out to his outfit too. And as you can see, he started a craze because Claressa Shields was entered her weigh-in actually wearing some actual construction Timbs with her mink coat and her lingerie under. So shout to Christian Seals again, and shout to Stephen Fulton. Shout to Philly. Now off to the main event. Mexican Monster versus David Morrell. I watched a couple of Morrell fights, saw plenty of his highlights. He looked pretty good. I was pretty much with the field. I didn't think that he could beat David Benavidez, and he couldn't. He put up a decent fight. David Benavidez, just his punch output is just way too much for most fighters. David Benavidez never really hurt him. Never really hurt him at all. However, Morrell never hurt Benavidez, and that was not a knockdown. They called it a knockdown. They called a knockdown for Morrell in like the maybe 11th round or 10th or 11th round, and it was definitely not a knockdown. They kind of got tangled up, and it was more like a push. Actually, Benavidez scored with like a right to the body, and when Morrell kind of threw like a looping right, that Benavidez kind of caught with his left forearm like this, but because he was like kind of bent down, that force from that block kind of pushed Benavidez a little forward, and his gloves touched, so they called the knockdown. But that was never a knockdown. He was never hurt at all. Morrell did hit Benavidez with a couple of good shots, and Benavidez felt the power, and he was, kind of paused him, gave him a little wobbly legs for a couple of seconds, but nothing that Benavidez couldn't bounce back from, and he definitely did, and put on a great performance. And shout to them, man. Shout to everybody in attendance who pulled up. Shout to all of the beautiful boxing coverage out there on YouTube, Amazon, PBC. Shout to everybody who did their thing, who's doing their thing, covering these fights. Let's just make sure that 2025 is a great year of boxing, man. We got Canelo and Crawford coming up. We got Roach and Tank coming up. We got Stevenson and Kid Austin coming up. We got Bivol and Bivol and Beterbiev Part 2. And that whole card is stacked. So, I'm looking forward to everything that's going on. And new music video coming soon, From the Streets to the Stage, shot by my guy RH Vision. Shit is gonna be fire. We shot it out here in Georgia. Shit is gonna be dope. Look forward to it. It's coming out soon. But like I told y'all, man, it's your guy Black Fever. This is a music channel, but boxing is the hot topic right now. I'm gonna cover the fights. I don't really cover the boxing news, the gossip, all that other stuff. I just cover the fights. That's what we want to see. We want to see the fights. Oh, one last thing. Adesanya, UFC, got a big loss this weekend. He got knocked out. And in my personal opinion, I believe he's finished goods. I believe somewhere after the Alex Pereira fight, when he finally got his rematch, he finally got his revenge against him and he won. I believe that was the last peak. That was the last true interest that he had left in the sport. After that, I don't think he's interested anymore. I believe he's more of a superstar, and he doesn't have the hunger that it takes anymore. He's a funny dude. He has a lot of personality. I mean, definitely a legend. Definitely still a great fighter. But just I don't think he has the desire anymore. He definitely doesn't have the chin to keep up anymore. I mean, after a while, when that button get pushed enough, or if that button gets pushed hard enough, it just never kind of clicks back the same. And we are talking about, your brain. So shout to him. Hopefully he's okay. Hopefully he bounces back. And if that bounce back means to kind of stay out the ring, I hope he does that. Stay out the cage. Hopefully he does that. Again, he's a charismatic guy. He can get into anything else, acting, commercials, advertising, stuff like that. Training, blogging, misfit fighting, if he still wants to compete. But the octagon, I think we might have seen his last days in the octagon. But shout to him. He was always a great champion. He's been a great champion. And if this is the last time you see him in the octagon, thank you for everything you've done. Israel Adesanya. But that's it. That's your guy, Black Fever. Let me go ahead and finish this workout. Peace.